All right, guys, I think we're live for our first show back with the Hunt Sessions podcast. So, thanks for joining us. We're going to give a couple minutes here for people to get in. Hopefully, we can get some guests on the show. Not video, but we'll get your comments up, answer questions, talk about whatever you bring up. We love opinions. We have quite a few of them ourselves. So,
All the opinions.
we have all the opinions. Yes. Check here real quick on the see if it popped up. In the meantime, I'll let Andrew introduce himself real quick. Andrew's kind of started with us last year. Nico's been hunting with him for a few years now out west, so go ahead.
Yeah. Andrew, I am from Colorado, so formerly from Illinois, but don't live close to anyone anymore. I am a plumber in Colorado, and I will hunt just about anything that I can.
What's your go ahead.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, I've got two things running together. Anyway, what is your favorite thing to hunt?
Oh man, whitetail is really close to the top of the list. I think it'd be a tie with anything I can hunt with my dog. Pheasants, ducks, geese.
Gotcha.
Anything she can go with me for.
All right. Looks like Nico's in here. I know he's just itching to be involved. But you're the face of the franchise. We gotta get some other faces on here. So
Face of the
what we're gonna do
franchise.
real quick is we're gonna run this intro, and this first episode is just gonna be sloppy. We'll sort things out. We're gonna run this quick intro and get one. All right, this is episode 20. We're calling this one Back to Life because we're going to bring this podcast back to life. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our sponsors and brand partners. We got Backwoods Grind Coffee. Backwoods Grind, we met with them. They have a local brand ambassador, or I guess more like coordinator of brand partnerships right here in Illinois, kind of local to us. He does some events with us throughout the year. We went and shot bows a few years ago. That's Andrew. Jonathan and Zach are the owners. They're super cool. These guys pour their heart and soul into this coffee. It's I didn't even know what fresh coffee was until I had Backwoods Grind Coffee. They brew it to order. By the time you get the coffee, it's less than a week from being roasted. I should say roasted, or not, but they roast it to order. So it's been roasted. I get mine ground, but you can get whole bean if you want to. Check them out at backwoodsgrind.com. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll have a promo code so you guys can get a discount. We probably have one now, but we haven't shared it in a while, so I want to make sure it's still good before I give people a promo code. Next up, we got Onyx. If you haven't heard of Onyx, you've probably been living under a rock. Onyx is a very useful tool. We partnered with them a couple years ago. They've been really good to us with helping with our events. We like to give away some premium annual memberships every year at our archery shoot, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Onyx is basically going to be online land information, land data. You can look at property lines, public, private. Allows you to plan your hunts, maybe in an area you haven't been before. Allows you to find out maybe who a property owner is, so you could talk to them about hunting that piece of land. And then on top of that, there's about 1 billion markers that you can lay down on the app to be able to save different locations. I've used it for when I put stands out. marking my stands all the way to helping me, where my last blood was while I'm tracking a deer. So super useful tool. They're a pretty well leader in that space. Okayest Hunter is up next. We got two more. Okayest Hunter is awesome brand. They are an apparel brand. They got a few little gizmos and gifts that they do, but Okayest Hunter is Eric Clark and Greg Tubbs. They really their mission for what they're doing is something I personally really like, and I think it's something that the hunting industry has suffered from for a long time. I'm I don't even know what you would call that, adult onset hunter. So I didn't start hunting until I was an adult, and you definitely there's buck shaming that happens all the time. So I poke fun with your buddies. We like to say that Nico like little horns, but in all seriousness, we shouldn't shame anybody for the wildlife that they harvest. That kind of kills the community, hurting ourselves when we do that. So that's their main mission. If you go check them out at okayesthunter.com, you'll find a bunch of cool shirts. They're kind of comical. That's what makes it fun. And then last but definitely not least, we have Lip Curl Scents. Lip Curl Scents is a local deer urine company. They've got an awesome farm right just 15 minutes down the road here from the house. Super family. They really, these deer are like spoiled. I'll just put it that way. Nico and I went and visited the farm last year for the first time, and you can hand feed these deer. They're super cool, but the best part is they make great urine products. I won't get into the technical details of it, but the processes and methods that they use just produce awesome products. So we're going to keep working with them. It's a great relationship, great product. I used it this year, shared a few times where I'd put some buck beads in the scrape, and I'm still getting pictures, and I did that back in October. So those deer are literally still hitting that scrape in February. So that's awesome. And it's time to get rolling. But before I do that, we're giving a half away tonight. So if you're in here watching, got that autofocus blurring it. If you're watching, we're going to have this official hunt merchandise hat. And if you're not watching or listening, you should be watching next time, because we're giving stuff away in these things, people. By the end of this show, we're going to draw a name. So in order to win, you need to comment. You have to comment. If you're connected, I'll be able to know your name. If you did not connect your Facebook to the Restream app, then you'll have to put your name in there. So comment, I want a free hat, or something like that. As long as I see a comment and you're wanting a hat, we'll enter you into the drawing, do the live drawing at the end of the show. Get that sent out tomorrow. No, Nico, you can't have the hat. So, yep. And go ahead and get started. Said they want a free hat, but they didn't put their name, so I don't know who that's. So let's start off with, you know what? I got two more housing things real quick. I'm real terrible about time management here. And I always hate the podcast, talk and never get to the point. And I know I'm doing that right now, so bear with me 2 more minutes. First things first, we are developing a hunt journal. It's going to be on Amazon. We're kind of wrapping up the last final details in it. It's going to be a structured journal with all kinds of information that's pre-populated that you'll be able to select like your location, the weather. There's a lot of weather stuff in there because I know that hunting and weather go hand in hand. And this is why I don't need 2 screens, because I'm reading comments, trying to talk at the same time. My train crashed, but it's going to be super awesome. We're going to have some discounts in the back of the book from all of our brand partners and a few more that we reached out to. So you're going to want to pick one of those up. That's all the details we have right now. Hopefully in the next month, they'll be ready to ship, and you're not going to want to miss out. And real quick, I want to touch on the Rain Lake Archery Challenge. This will be our 3rd year doing that. It'll be at the end of September. We don't have any details yet, but if that's your thing, stay with the podcast because we're going to be talking about it, especially once we get into summer. And we're going to need you promoting it, getting it even bigger than it was last year. With all that being said, Andrew, let's talk about 2022 season. Where'd you start? How about that? Where'd you start hunting at in your 2022 season?
Started off with archery pronghorn. That would have been middle of August. And uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Like something.
See, is that any better?
I love it.
All right. What about that? Is that any better?
Andrew, it might just be my end.
Yeah, Nico says he can hear me. Yeah, so started off in August with archery pronghorn. My dog has found her toy. Hunted that for a long weekend. And then the rest of my season was kind of cut short. I guess I hunted some pheasants in October in South Dakota, and then spent a long weekend over on the western slope here in Colorado with a doe tag in my pocket. And that was kind of the extent of the big game for me. And then this late season, I was able to get out a good bit more for waterfowl and some other birds. And yeah, that was a good time. Got to hang out with some good friends. Being able to bird hunt, it's a little bit more of a social component than with any sort of big game. You can kind of go with a larger group and it's not just sit and be quiet. So
I kind of like the sit and quiet stuff.
oh, I do too for a lot of it, but you know, it's nice
like
to sit with the
naps
same
too,
people.
though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually been waterfowl hunting.
Oh man, we're gonna have to change that.
We definitely are. We definitely are. How was your harvesting? You know, I know you just like to roam the wild country in search of game, but how well did you do?
Let's see. Pronghorn was, it's Colorado over-the-counter archery pronghorn, and
So it's pretty rough
so
out there.
well, you're hunting with a bow and terrain. You can watch the pronghorn run the other direction for 2 weeks, and so we got close to some does during the buck only portion of the season. Then I guess the other thing I forgot to mention, was able to go out with Caleb and so shot a turkey during the fall season here in Colorado with a 22. That was pretty exciting.
Now, were you guys
Yeah.
actually turkey hunting, or were you hunting other game when that happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were hunting on the river, and in the fall season here in Colorado, it's kind of an any weapon ordeal, and so um, that one was exciting. I about fell in a creek when I got typewriter leg.
Wow. What is typewriter leg?
um, get a little too excited when you see a critter, and then you
Oh,
get
you
up and
got a
try to
little.
walk.
I got you. Little
Yeah.
spaghetti noodle legs, as I like to call it.
hmm Um, so I shot a hen turkey. Brought a limit of 3 days limit worth of pheasants home from South Dakota, and then somewhere here I got written down how many ducks and geese um, I've got for the season, but no other
Don't
big game.
incriminate yourself.
Yeah, nothing over the limit.
Yeah,
Um,
of course not.
yeah, well, we eat them too quick. To first, I was kind of like, man, 18 birds for, I think 18 for ducks because you can have 6 times 3 days. And I was like, man, that doesn't sound like many. And then you eat them so quick, it's like, well, not sure we're gonna make it to have an 18
So,
in the freezer.
what's your favorite way to cook duck? I know a lot of people, they don't really like it because it's there's only specific ways you could cook it. So, what do you think?
Oh man, it's fantastic. Pan frying or grilling a breast, if you're talking, um, mallards, widgeon, anything that'd be like a puddle duck. Um, you can get away pan frying those with various seasonings which you may like. Um, we got the Meat Eater cookbooks, and they've got a recipe for duck nachos in there. Throw them in
Ooh,
with some cheese and sour cream and jalapenos and stuff, and
you
that
can't
is
go wrong
pretty
with sour.
stellar.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with jalapenos and sour cream. Maybe cream cheese. I bet cream cheese would be good.
Ooh, yeah. Well, actually, last time we did it, we skipped the shredded cheese, and my wife made queso, and we just drenched it in queso instead of shredded cheese, and that was pretty phenomenal.
It sounds like it. Ryan in the chat says that he thinks it tastes best in a crock pot. You can pretty much cook everything in a crock pot. That's my favorite way to cook things anyway. And put it on and walk away.
Yep. We've done a lot of deer roasts like that. Just leave them in the
When I
crock
first
pot.
started hunting, when I first started hunting, the only way I knew how to cook deer, you got to remember, like, I remember my grandpa, like, he was a farmer. He raised animals for butcher, and then he deer hunted. And I honestly don't remember eating deer. I'm sure I did, but I definitely didn't get taught how to cook it. So the only thing I knew how to make was Italian venison. And now I just can't
Ooh.
stand eating Italian venison because I ate so much of it. That's all I knew how to cook. Of course, backstrap.
Well, in college when I started lifting weights, I was like, oh, I got to get my protein in, and my wife still makes fun of me because before we were married, I'd go to Sam's Club, I'd get my chicken and potatoes, and I would grill chicken, potatoes, and deer every week. But I didn't really know how to season anything, so I'd take a whole deer and just cut it up. And if it wasn't steaks, it was jerky meat, and that's all I would eat. And so it's been good to find some recipes that aren't just slicing everything into 1 inch steaks for the grill.
Yeah. Also, jerky. I feel like that's just a snack.
Yeah.
Like there's some guys I know that will literally take their deer to the processor and get the entire thing made into like Slim Jims. which don't get me wrong, they're good, but I want some food. I want to put
We'd
some food on the table.
we'd never done that until I guess my season technically started January 1. Got to go to Nebraska with a friend of mine, and we cleaned house on some leftover dough tags out there, and got some pepperoni
Nice.
mozzarella sticks made. That was
Ooh,
pretty fantastic.
of course, Nico says in the chat, I just eat jerky. I mean, I could too, but the family kind of they want more. They want more than just jerky. Put my weight away in some summer sausage.
Oh yeah.
I'll jump into my 2022 season. It was pretty successful. I feel like it was short though, but I think that was my own fault. I'm basic. I focus strictly on whitetail. I'll hunt other things. I just don't put a lot of energy into it. Maybe that came out wrong. If I'm doing it, I'm going to give it everything I got. I just don't intentionally go out and do those things because I'm just hyper focused on whitetail. Basically, from the time they start growing velvet until I'm done hunting during whitetail season, that's my focus. So this year, as always, started hunting October 1st, and it was kind of slow at first. I saw some deer. Of course, at the beginning of the year, you kind of pretty selective because you feel like, oh, I got the whole season ahead of me. And I'm wanting to say it was the seventh or eighth. I think Nico and I shot 2 does within seconds of each other. Very well, possibly could have been at the exact same time. And that was our one video we put out this year. We got another video queued up. I won't even get into that. It's called Procrastination. But so that was good. That was actually a pretty fun hunt. I hunted from the ground and had a doe and a fawn come in. It was a bigger fawn. And ironically enough, probably 4 miles away, about 4 miles away from the house, there's a drag strip. So they were racing that night. It was a Friday night and it was pretty loud. So I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this background noise and try to close the distance between me and her. So I positioned a tree between us, just took my time. It was getting dark pretty quick. And I got about 30 yards, I'm wanting to say. I can't remember. I think it was about a 30-yard shot. And noticed me, but it was too late. I drew back, got a good shot on her, and was able to harvest that deer. So that one's on YouTube. And then in November, I always take vacation in November, and I spend pretty much every waking minute that my wife allows me to in the woods. And I was able to harvest a really good buck this year on some public land right here by the house. Just took out a hang and hunt set, hang on. I thought I blew the hunt because of how much noise, and it was kind of a warmer day. I'm wanting to say it was maybe in the 60s. I was sweating my butt off. Everything that could, you know how those hunts go. Everything that could go wrong seems to go wrong. And I probably wasn't in the tree for 20 minutes, maybe. Had a little action, started rattling and grunting a little bit, and this dude just comes barreling in looking for something. So he got just something. I think it was what he wanted. But I got it all on film except the shot because it was just a weird scenario, and I got to surprise me. But we got everything else on film. And Nico came out, helped me recover him. So just haven't put all that together yet. We're going to put that out next year. I feel like by the time we got everything together and was able to, we're going to put it out around Christmas. I feel like the November's the time, and you really want to, if you want that red action, it happens in November. So let's put that video out in November. So I think next year we're going to, or I guess that technically be this year, 23, probably the beginning, first week in November, maybe November 1st, heck, maybe even the end of October. We'll put that video out. I'm going to kind of compile it together with some other stuff, make a pretty good video out of it. Actually might have a coyote hunt coming up here in the next couple weeks. A buddy of mine asked me if I wanted to come coyote hunt his property, and there's really absolutely no details on it yet. He's like, "Hey, you want to come shoot coyotes?" Like, yeah, let's do it. I've never been, so could be fun. I have this like philosophy of don't shoot what you won't eat, but I'm not gonna eat a coyote.
Save a
Just
few
something-
deer.
Exactly.
Deer, turkey, poults, pheasants, ducks, what have you.
I did see a lot of coyotes in the woods this year while I was hunting, so I think they need to be thinned out a little bit. There's, you know what? I saw 2, maybe 3 bobcats this year too, and I normally don't see any. So I think that bobcat population is getting higher.
I've
here in
only ever
southern
seen one.
Illinois.
I've seen one bobcat in Illinois. I've seen 3 in Colorado, and then Nico and I saw a mountain lion. A little too close there. That was 2 seasons ago out here.
Have you ever seen dogs that like will get in the tree with them?
Oh yeah,
That's insane. I used to have a buddy that go out west and hunt mountain lions with the dog. Those dogs are just absolutely fearless.
yeah. That's something I want to get on the list for out here. But you're booking with an outfitter, and it's kind of one of those where they'll take, say 5 clients a year, and when you're up next and it snows, you drop everything. And so kind of
it's kind of one of those things. You just wait for the weather to be right. You can't really plan it.
Yeah, so the basically the outfitters will go out once it's snowing, and they'll cut a track, and they can usually tell based on what that track is if it's going to be something that's worth chasing. Because I've heard of guys, I mean, they'll turn their dogs out, and the dogs will run for miles until they find this thing and tree it. So it's be a fun experience for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things we're going to try to do on this show is get all these brand partners over here to run a little. I got a couple of them today. Still waiting on a couple more. Hopefully something out in the future. But I'm going to run a Backwoods Grind ad real quick. And if you're listening and you can't see video when this is out there in the podcast world, bear with me. Here we go. If that doesn't fire it up for spring turkey hunting, I don't know what will.
Just want that cabin.
I know, right? Cabin. With the land, even if there's not a cabin on it.
It's true, you can always build one.
Yep. It's about this season, what we got going on, what we got planned. What do you have? What's the next big thing you have coming up?
I think Axis deer in April with you and Nico and Caleb. It's gonna be
I
the
really
next
hope I
big
get to go
one.
on that.
We'll smuggle you down there.
Yeah, just depends on a work promotion. Work always has to come first. Work tells me when I can hunt, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So
Well,
I've
work and
got
my wife.
coming up. Yeah. 6 of one,
So what's the
half dozen
plan
of
there?
the other.
Yeah, what's the plan there?
I know Caleb and I are going to load up and drive down from here. I think it's 13 hours down there for us.
Is I mean, I know a lot of these details, but also you can share them. What like how's the farm? How's the farm work? How's the where are we gonna be staying? What's the limits? Things like that.
So it's an outfitter we're going with, and he runs kind of like management hunts. It's all free range, but just kind of keeping the doe population in check. So there's 4 of us. I think we've got 5 does, maybe 6 between the 4 of us that we can shoot while we're down there.
Is
Got a
that
little
is
cabin.
archery ideal in this situation?
He said bring whatever you want, but be prepared to just shoot one with a rifle. I'm bringing a bow just in
I
addition
want to
because
shoot everything with a bow.
he said there's a lot of hogs running around. And I'm thinking
Gotcha.
they've got horrible eyesight, and that sounds like an ideal situation for me shooting a recurve.
Last time I heard there were a lot of hogs running around, we were in Alabama, and Jan and Nico and Kyle didn't see a single hog. Well, we might have from the truck once, but it was still
I
fun. It
think
was
you'll
still
have
fun.
to talk to your guide about that one.
Yeah, I think I need to get with Guide on that.
See if you could get a refund or something.
No kidding. It made me sleep in 30-degree weather and everything.
Yeah, probably not as cold as some of those nights Nico and I have spent. Thankfully, we had a stove
No.
on those ones.
Yeah, I had a good sleeping bag, but I did not want to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
that'll be 8. And then I'll probably pick up a turkey tag for somewhere. Got a nephew arriving in that ballpark, so not really sure what that'll look like yet. Want to go and see them, but probably pick up a turkey tag somewhere after that. Then fish all summer. And as far as fall goes, still miss the Illinois just over the counter. I got some points here in Colorado I'm hoping to burn this year. Got some moose points stored up. So kind of hoping I will pull my cow moose tag this year.
have you ever been able to harvest a moose?
I have not. But in
I think you guys
Colorado,
had a close encounter last year, or was it the year before?
it was the year before maybe. We've seen them all over out here. And they're not afraid of people, and the population of them just keeps growing. So what I'm really hoping is I can draw my cow tag before the wolf reintroduction out here fully takes off.
Ooh,
And then we'll see what happens after that. Probably put in for some pronghorn tags out here. And other than that, I think Colorado, if I don't draw a pronghorn tag, I'll always There's some leftover tags for some units relatively close to my house um, that hunt those for a couple weekends, probably with a rifle in the late season. Um, then I think the only thing other than that would be hoping to get down to Southern Illinois with you guys this year
Yeah, that's right.
for
You're
a
supposed to
few
be coming this
days.
way.
Yeah. So
Now,
surprisingly enough, when you get your truck back from a body shop after 6 months of work, your first thought isn't to hop in said vehicle and drive it across the country.
now, come on. You were supposed to come over this way this year, weren't you? I know you were up
Yeah.
north.
Yeah, we ended up up north, mostly for farm work this year. I didn't really get hunting in Illinois this year, unfortunately. So hoping to get down hunt with you guys. I think Nico was saying December is better, so we'll see.
I don't know. December's okay, but it's hard to beat November.
Yeah,
I mean,
construction wise,
on public land, November, obviously, it's tough to find any sort of seclusion in this area, but you know, it is what it is. I don't want to say any
yeah.
cliche. I shared a thing the other day about cliche hunting phrases, and I don't want to say any of them now. That's why they call it hunting.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to look like. Construction always slows down out here. Um, right around that first of the year and end of December. So might see what that looks like. But yeah, that's kind of one of the goals here. The priority is getting down to hunt with you guys.
Well, you just say when, and we'll put you in our best spots. Let you shoot all the big deer
Perfect.
that we don't shoot.
I'll probably miss all of them.
No comment.
You got lucky there a couple of years ago and shot 2 deer in about 4 days. And
Yeah, I had a good. I totally get that. I mean, I don't know if it's luck. It's just your time paid off. You got to be out there doing it.
oh yeah. Well, and I'm limited to about 30 yards with the recurve on what I want to shoot something at, and had a doe come in to 26 yards, and a few days later had a buck come into about 7.
Yeah, that's definitely hard to pass on, especially with
Oh
recurve,
yeah.
because you're not going to get as many opportunities with recurve.
No, and it ended up being the biggest deer I'd shot. So,
Really, that's awesome.
mhm.
Real quick, we're going to pause. I want to do two things. Talk about the hat one more time because I've only got one person out of. We've had, I think at one point we had 10 people. We're down to 4 now, and one person wants a hat. I mean, I'll just give it to him if that's what it takes. We won't even do a draw. I appreciate people sticking around, but we're starting to wrap it up here. So if you want to win a free hat, you better drop that name. I'm gonna give you a minute to do that, and I'm gonna run an Onyx ad. Here we go. So to get Onyx, just look it up in your app store, whether you're Android or Apple, you will find it. And I thought I had a free membership to give away. I looked through everything from the archery hunt. We must have given it away there. I thought I had, but I couldn't find it. So that would have been a good one. But we're going to go Hadaway. So Richard Baker is asking. Let me find his comment here so I can throw it up. Richard Baker on Facebook is asking, did you guys get anything good on video this year? We did. We got a couple of does, which everything's good in my opinion. But I personally got a decent buck, and we have not shared that video yet. So hoping to share it late October, early November this year. Throw everything together. We just kind of messed around too long and didn't want to put it out after season. The hype's kind of dead then, so we'll save it. We'll sit on it.
I, for one, charged up all of my camera gear and packed it around all season, and I think it came out of my pack once.
You got to get that camera gear out, buddy.
I know.
Of dead silence. So, as you can tell, we've been busy. We got a lot of stuff going on. Planning trips, cooking duck, cooking venison, all that good stuff. So 2023 hopefully is a good year for everybody. Hopefully it's a good year for you if you're watching or listening. Hope you all had a good 2022 season. I know a lot of the people that I'm friends with and are part of the group, they really, I saw everybody. I mean, everybody was, it seemed like it was a good season. A lot of people had some, a rough start, but seemed to get it done. So, and I saw a lot of public land. So that's always good to see. We plan to go live every other Sunday, and the audio version will come out on wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you go. It'll be out there on Monday. So every other Sunday, you can join us right here. This is a little more of a drier episode. We're just kind of reintroducing ourselves, catching everybody up, touching on the things that we've been working on, and then hopefully we'll get some more topics. Well, not hopefully, I already have a bunch lined up, but we'll talk about some other stuff that you guys might have your opinion on. We'll get you in here, and so every other Sunday, and if I can help it, I'll be giving stuff away. I love giving stuff away. I don't know why. I love winning stuff, so why not give it away when you can? But this week it's a hat. So if you want the hat, comment that you want the hat. And if you're not connected to Restream and I can't see your name, comment your name. So far, I got Ryan Vandergraff, pronouncing it wrong. Ryan's the winner right now, unless somebody else gets in here in the next couple of minutes, because we're getting ready to wrap this sucker up. Listen to it wherever you get your podcast. This is going to be a raw format, mistakes happen. Technology doesn't always work. We got cats and dogs and people and wives and kids and things in the background, but that's just who we are. So we don't want to give it to you any other way. Appreciate everybody that commented today. While we have your attention, what I want you to do is I want you to go to YouTube, and I want you to give us a search. You can find our channel just searching for The Hunt, or just search my name. I think it's even easier that way. Jan Segato, Jansegatto. You should be able to find The Hunt that way. I think there was a movie that either did or was supposed to come out a year or two ago called The Hunt, and we started the channel at the same time, and so for some reason we're competing with a movie for in the search results, but it is what it is. So check it out. We always say we plan on putting more content on there, and we do. We found it we get a lot of attention on Facebook, so we try to put a lot of stuff on Facebook. We share memes, we share things we're doing throughout the year. We share our archery shoot, really focus on that towards summertime. So that's the other thing I was going to touch on is our Facebook group. That one should be pretty easy to find. The Okayest Hunting Group. Okayest Hunting Group. Most of you are probably watching it in the Okayest Hunting Group right now. If you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, go to Facebook, search the Okayest Hunting Group. It is the place to be. So you're going to want to be there. We do giveaways. We do all kinds of cool stuff. So last but certainly not least, I want to give you guys the links to our sponsors one more time. It's grind.com. onX, just search for it in your app store. okayesthunter.com and lipcurlsense.com. Those guys are the ones that keep us going. Andrew, do you have anything else before we give this hat away?
Don't think so. I am out of wisdom for the evening.
You're never out of wisdom. Richard Baker wants to come film his rabbit hunt next weekend. We might be able to make that happen, Richard. I think we got a volleyball tournament out of town. But
So
I know Nico will always be out in his hand. Nico will be out in the woods with the camera in his hand.
If it's behind dogs, that's always fun.
I think Richard does have dogs.
Usually those rabbit guys will run beagles.
Yeah. Nico's already plugging away at it. All right, guys, I'm going to give this hat away, and I'm not even going to have to pull up the wheel of names. Ryan, it's your Ryan, send us a message on Facebook. Send a message on Facebook, and we'll get the hat sent out to you. We'll cover shipping. Give us an address to send it to. We appreciate everybody that stopped in tonight. Thanks for participating. We do appreciate it. Hopefully these can become more regular. If you got nothing else going on a Sunday night, jump on in here, see what we're talking about, and get involved. That's what we want. That's our biggest thing. We just love you guys involved in making things happen. That's what I found. We started, I don't want to get on a rant, but we started this whole thing as a YouTube channel. That's all it was. We're going to film our hunts. We're going to throw them on YouTube. And it turned into a community. And I love that. That's my favorite thing about the hunt, is the community. So the turnout we have at our archery event is awesome. And that's one of the things I look forward to every single year. And I try to add a little bit to it every year. So hopefully you guys can, keep helping us grow it. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate you guys interacting with us on Facebook. Don't forget to go to that YouTube channel, subscribe. We need your help on YouTube. You guys are awesome on Facebook, but if you're a YouTube user, get over there, find the Hunts channel, and subscribe. Matter of fact, I will drop a link in the comments on the group whenever we're done. So check it out, subscribe. Promise we won't try to sell you anything or, like a extended warranty for your car or anything like that. But every night we are going to sign off. See you next time.